into the winner's lounge.
Let's go.
Dude, how did I not notice you have a headset on over there? What's going on?
You know, I've always dared to be different. You know, like
you have dared to be different.
When I put on the headset, it feels like I'm like pilot or something.
Pilot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't see it, but okay. Guys, this is the weirdest / greatest winner. That's like a great weird.
Yeah. This is greatly weird.
This is so greatly weird.
I feel like they half lost that game.
This is weirdly
I'll
great.
take it.
I do feel like they lost, but they didn't. They won. Nuggets get an insane victory over the Chicago Bulls in a game that sucked right up until it didn't. Until it was like all of the joy of a really great game compacted into like 7 minutes. The first 46 minutes, no
Horrible.
joy, and then 7 minutes of pure joy.
It was like a main line of that Hornets game, just like condensed and distilled
I
into
feel like-
7 minutes of action.
I feel like it's like a main line of like Hornets venom. Like if you just like you found a murder hornet and started
Should I-
sucking on them.
Oh yeah, should I address the elephant in the room?
Yeah.
Are you talking about
Are we
Dev's-
already doing this?
Talking about Dev's headset?
Dude, I just sat down.
that down.
Byron's already, the homie's already in the chat. It's a different homie? K-Dubs! Bada some vodka. Who's watching YouTube right now?
Yep, the pass.
So guys, as you may or may not have noticed, we are in Studio B of. You guys didn't even know we had Studio B, but we have Studio B of the DNVR Lounge Studios. This is still a Winners Lounge. It's just Winners Lounge B, which I think is fitting for this weird ass game.
It's very weird. This is the new studio. It's incomplete, but there's March Madness today, so we got bumped. But here we are, dude. We're here for you.
I have a volunteer who is taking my shot for me very gracefully. Thank God. Somebody's got to pilot this, and Dev has the headset on, but he's not going to pilot it.
Yeah, also, Gordon has showed up, and he has showed out as he always does.
You got to be kidding me. Are you serious? Well,
Gordon
all right,
is
Gordon,
here.
we're back here. But man, the vibes, I'm telling you.
Gordon is here.
You guys, when you pay us copious amounts of money, the Nuggets win. I don't know what to say. It's just it's strange.
correlation.
It's really science.
No connection.
Guys, we are, as always, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Use promo code DNVR when you sign up, and do it because it's March Madness. And honestly, there's like nothing in life more fun than betting on basketball during March Madness. It's just like an overwhelming amount of bets, and you win some, and the losses go away so quickly because you can't even remember them.
We lost the bet on the pregame happening. That was a bet we lost. But we did win. The Nuggets won, and we're feeling good, baby.
All right, guys, they're wanting the shots down. Sveli!
You're saying that as a man who's not shooting one.
Well, I am saying that.
We also got an official apology super chat from Josh.
Josh Moore would like to apologize for his Facu hate.
And then someone said the special lounge for special wins.
It was a
special
win.
lounge for special
You know what's
wins.
funny, guys?
It's for special little gentlemen like us.
Our
Lounge B for better. We got a lot of people.
Wow, we got a lot of people that are really drunk tonight, including ourselves over here. I got Brennan Vogt.
Hey guys, our JV lounge is like a big step up from that old Lakewood office.
Oh my God, it's so true.
This is crazy. This is so cool in here.
Over here, I got D-Line Co. You guys know him as Eric Weedham.
What's up, guys? I'm a little. This set's not quite done. I'm not. I have a lot of stuff that's coming in the mail. It's going to be cooler, but here we are. We're glad to invite you in, and we're even happier that the Nuggets won. I'm happy the Nuggets.
Dude, I'm freaking over the moon at the Nuggets. Are you kidding me? This is like you win ugly. Then over here, I've got the pilot, superstar Dev.
You can call me Facu. Let's go.
Yeah, why
Hey,
are we
man,
calling him
let's
Dev?
go.
Why
There's
are we calling him
there is
Facu,
only
dude?
one Facu, and we're gonna get into him most definitely. And then over here is Edgar. You guys can't see him, but he's always taking out down.
He's normally in
over
the
here.
chat, but now he's in the lounge.
Yeah, guys. To start things off here, I mean, it's a Friday night lounge, guys. It might be a little bit sloppier than usual, but we're gonna have a good time.
If you can't tell.
This game was ridiculous, man.
It was
Like
so
it was honestly like a 3 out of 10 on the fun scale for a majority of it. It was a 10 out of 10 on the frustration scale for a majority of it. But then Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, how many times have we seen this? And we even called it, Eric. There was a point, it was like the third quarter, where Jokic just looks lackadaisical.
Yep.
And there was a play, it was like out of a timeout when you're like, oh, okay. He sees the finish line.
Yep.
It's going to take this much energy, and here he goes. Still a little rough and tumble because Chicago just kept making shots. But when it got to closing time, Murray, Jokic, with a big assist from Facundo Campazzo, he had an incredible play. But I want to focus first on Murray and Jokic. It's like they've done this a million times.
They have done this a million times. I mean, they've done
true.
it an infinite number of times. Like, every time I've seen it, I'm like, I've seen this a million times before. Like, at various points during the third quarter, like you're saying, like it seemed like all hope left. But then you just looked at Jokic. You just watched him
and Murray, man. Like this was a. I can't even. I'm only correcting you because we do this a lot where it's true. Jokic is a superstar, but tonight was one of those ones where it was a two-headed monster, man. It was like a player split into two, became two guys, and then just dominated.
It's a beautiful thing.
What you love about this is just like at the end of the day with the Denver Nuggets, you have these two guys who can play this well together at the end of a game. So they're never out of any game and they're never out of any series. And, the rest of the roster matters and roster construction.
Of course.
It's important, of course. It's
so many talented players on this team.
Sure, but for all the flaws they may or may not have, when you have two guys who in clutch time are not just individually two of the best players in the league, but together, they have as much chemistry as any duo in the league right now. And it's why the Nuggets are never out of any contest.
That wasn't even like a great game. And it ended up being an awesome game. Like,
it was.
Nothing about that was fun in the first half. It was the Bulls. You're just like, man, this is not going well. And then it was just like they snapped. And what you said, Adam, is like Jokic. I don't know if you guys ever been to like a track meet, but like in the long distance or like the 400s, like a guy paces himself for the whole way, and then he's like, I'm gonna run him down. I'm going to run him down, and I'm going to finish off at the finish line, and everybody's going to know I'm, like, the best. And that's what Jokic does. You can, like, see him, like, pacing himself, like, okay, I'll do this, like, at times. And then something happened in like, the late in the game. It was, like, a call that didn't go his way, and he was just like, you know what? They fucked up. And I'm just going to take off from here on out. And that's what he did. And that was great to see their chemistry together and just like see them go to a next level. We've always like seen that they have great chemistry, but like tonight they really did like go with each other, and then other people around them were starting to find their fitting and starting to go. So that was fun. It
was incredibly fun, man. And that two-man game, the play that really sticks out in my mind, I think it's the play that it was to tie in regulation because Denver, I mean, it felt like they were going to lose this whole time. As much faith as I have in the Nuggets, almost at all, especially against the Bulls, there was a point where I was just like, yeah, there's just not enough time or this or that. And then on that last play, it was a little discombobulated, the little two-man game going back and forth to each other. And you're kind of like watching it like, there's not enough time. But, of course, there was a perfect amount of time that they just somehow, I was more nervous than they were. You know what I mean? Because we were all sitting there like, just shoot it. Hurry, panic. Everybody panic. And they were just calm, like, okay, we're running out of time here, but stay calm. Got the ball right to Murray, little shot fake, sidestep. And like at that moment, I was like, they won. Well, it's going to overtime and they're winning.
Last 2 minutes felt like they had something.
What was crazy is Murray hits that big three a few minutes prior.
Yeah.
Then he looks a little gun shy, hesitant on 2 threes after that. So like you said, when he's scrambling there on that last play, the first time he pump fakes before the sidestep, you're thinking, dude, what are you doing? But hey, all year, whether he's playing well or not, Jamal has remained calm about himself and the team. Mm-hmm. And it's one of my favorite things about covering a team, which we don't get to do this year in person, but the fans, the media, we live this every day. We react so strongly. You walk into a locker room, those guys are not as bothered or not as concerned, and they trust in themselves at the end of the day.
Byron throwing another
Dude,
Byron, big one out.
All the
homies are out. All the homies are out tonight, man.
What is
all
that?
the homies are out.
Did you see that one that we just got? What is that?
Russian.
It's a RSD, which I am not. Oh, from
Greetings
Serbia.
from Serbia.
Yeah, that's a Serbian something or other.
I'm in on Byron.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dude, Byron hits us. All these blessings. You guys, you're spoiling us. You're making us blush, guys.
This game, man, I mean, it's weird to call. It's not like really an all-timer because if you miss the game and you're tuning into the show and you're like, have it DVR'd, fast forward to the fourth quarter.
Yeah, don't watch it.
Yeah, skip the first three. Go ahead.
It's a sick ass game.
Edgar's a level 10 Edgar right now. All right, Edgar.
Edgar, you don't have a mic.
I'm not in this shot, but
Edgar, they can't hear you.
I gotta keep it moving, Edgar. No, I don't have to keep. I have to keep it moving, man. I have to keep it moving.
We waited 2 years for March Madness week 1.
It's March, dude. It's March Madness
We
week
waited
1.
2 years for college basketball March Madness week 1.
They cannot hear you.
All right, Edgar, we're going to do the show now, if that's good with you.
What's happening?
Jamal Murray tonight, 6 of 7 from 3. So many of those just down the stretch.
Adam's fault for giving him
He said he would take it from me. And then Jokic tonight, 34 points, 15 rebounds, 9 assists, which leads me to, we don't have King of the Game ready yet, do we, Kel? No. Okay, then I'll keep
it right now.
I'll keep working on it. One thing, though, here's one thing I will say. When we talk about, and it's not us, when we hear people talking about the Nuggets in relation to other championship caliber teams, one of the things they always say is like, well, who do you trust in the clutch, this or that? Come on, guys. Like, honestly, people will try to put the apples to apples. Jokic, well, he's not LeBron James or whatever. And, like, first of all, debatable. Second of all, it's not even about that. It's that him and Murray just have some kind of, like, supreme trust, supreme timing, supreme chemistry, supreme knowledge of where each other are on the court. It really was tonight watching him was like watching figure skaters.
Dude,
that had practiced a routine that was just, like, perfectly in sync.
Especially that last play because it was a broken play. And Jokic is taking the ball to the rim and everyone else, except for the one dude who needs to make the decision, is thinking, what is he doing?
It's so funny
Meanwhile,
that he faked him out with a 2.
He saw Jamal. Jamal knew what he was doing. He knew what Jamal was doing at a time when everyone else was scrambled.
That play was incredible. Like,
that's a chemistry play.
Jokic just read it. He set it up before it even happened. The Bulls had no idea what was happening, and he was just like, I got him right where I want him. Then Murray pump fake, and we've always said that, like, he turned down shots. He turned down a few shots today, but that one he turned down, it was the right place, scoots right over, knocks it down right in front of his bench like it wasn't nothing.
It is hilarious. It's a joke that we come back to almost every time when when things are close at the end of the game. We're like, man, the Nuggets need a closer. They really
we never do this one.
We just really need a closer. Maybe we need to get that Jimmy Butler.
Wouldn't
that be incredible?
Well, he is a good closer.
We have two elite closers. Jokic. I mean, I actually am surprised that Jokic shouldn't do it because he always does. But the fact that we can just defer to another guy who can heat up to microwave hot at the drop of a hat and then can just completely take over a game. What did Murray score? Like 20 points in the fourth quarter?
I don't think it was that high, but or maybe it was. It was a lot of
points.
Well,
and between fourth and OT, it was north of 20.
Yeah,
it was like 22 or 24.
Yeah, the man had 3 points at halftime.
How would you rate this game on a scale of 1 to 10?
The
entirety of the game.
And what level? On the absurdity
scale
level?
Of 1 to 10 on enjoyment.
Well, it was a. I mean, it was
if
a.
I could
roll,
say you could pick any
level.
type of game. Like
it ended up being a 10. Like at the end of the day, like that was as excited you could be watching a basketball game. The getting there was absolute misery.
Would you? So this is like a movie. You know, you watch a movie. You ever watch a movie and it's not that good, but then the ending is incredible, and you're kind of like, wow. That was a really freaking not good anyway. And then you're like, you tell someone to watch it, then you watch it with them, and you're like, 90 minutes in, you're like, this part's not good.
you're like, don't pay. This is important because it's setting the stage, but don't pay attention.
Yeah, but don't.
You got to be miserable.
And that's how this game was. So I'm like, I can't tell if this was like a great game. Although it was a good little Friday night for me.
It was not. But hey, it's all's well that ends well, yeah. And it's a Friday night.
We got to give a shout to our homies down in Buenos Aires, down in Mendoza. Down in Cordoba, down in, do I know any other cities here? Iguazu?
In Argentina?
In Argentina, I'm trying to give all of my shout outs here.
Ali.
Argentina?
Ali.
First of all, I'm in America. It's
Más
Argentina
ciudades
here,
in Argentina, por favor.
I got to give a shout, guys, because Campazzo, man, like, since he's been back, has really been just such an impactful player. And again, 34 minutes tonight for him. He's at plus 10, which is almost a team high. Michael Porter at plus 12, but he right there. 2 points, guys. Campazzo had 2 points tonight. 8 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. And by the way, that 1 steal, they should have made it like bigger in the box score because it was, first of all, a beautiful steal. And second of all, it was a clutch steal. Like
dude, who does that? We always talk about buzzer beaters, but it's like, oh, there's not enough possessions left to win the game. We're screwed. We're toast. I'm actually just going to take the ball from the NBA All-Star on the final possession of the game. Who does that?
And even like with that, the fact that Facu was out there guarding Zach LaVine, like they put him on an all-star. Zach LaVine's out there, and he's the one that's guarding him. And then he just goes out and just really like sets up LaVine. He knew exactly what he was going to do.
He did set him up.
And
You're
actually
right.
went. That's a vet type of play. That's a vet move.
It's not even
that you do. We haven't actually had the opportunity to actually go interview like Facu in person or anything. But if I did,
I can't wait.
I would put my hand in my pocket because I would hold my wallet the entire time. I know that guy's a thief. There's no way he's not a thief.
I'm just going to shake his hand.
Like,
give
goodness.
him the hardiest handshake he's ever had in his life.
Man, that play was incredible.
I got a comment here saying, what about Malone trusting Facu with the ball in his hand at the end? It's true. I mean, Malone has an enormous amount of trust, and we've said this before. I don't know what Michael Malone looked like back in his playing days, but I'm pretty sure it looks something like Facu. It was the Loyola. What school did he go to? Loyola, Maryland.
Marymount?
No, not Marymount. Loyola, Baltimore, whatever it was.
Oh.
Loyola. I think it might have just been called Loyola.
Loyola.
He went to Loyola, and he was the Loyola version of Facundo Campazzo. Like you just know he was the tenacious whatever. So I think there's a natural sort of look. This is why I like Jokic. You kind of get this is why you like Derrick Rose. You gravitate to players who maybe you feel like your likeness. And I just think so. The trust thing is no surprise to me. What's going on here, Kel?
It's an incredible night.
We're in this
We are all over
it's
the
the
place
set
tonight.
Studio B. As much as I love, it's kind of a closet.
This is it's also like we put this together. Obviously, the pregame show didn't happen. Like this is a disaster. It's a complete mess. Like we're really putting this together, but it doesn't even matter. Like the vibes are immaculate.
The vibes are so.
We're in the middle of a
We are
construction
mirroring the
zone.
Nuggets tonight.
We really are.
Eerily
Can
hard.
I tell you though something? I think that this feels like a hot take because we're in the little afterglow here. I think Campazzo elevates the vibes.
It's not a hot take.
You don't think it is? Well, here's what I'm saying is like
That's the take.
is like him playing like the Nuggets playing well and getting a win. The Nuggets playing well and Campazzo contributing to a win. I just feel like it's like almost more of a vibe. Like he brings something to the table that just this team doesn't have.
I mean, this is kind of what like we were hitting on when we were talking about the season preview and what we could expect. Like several of us were talking about Facu being somebody that Michael Malone would turn to close games. And at a certain, like weeks ago, it seemed absurd. He's like such a small guy. He can get targeted at times on the defensive end if you like are able to switch and back him down low. But like, my God, like he's so disruptive. He's in passing lanes.
That's the word, bro.
He's like, I don't know. He just has such a preternatural sense for the ball. Like he just knows where to be.
Would you say he's more disruptive than Edgar or less disruptive than Edgar?
Tonight, Edgar might have the-
equally just as
Yeah,
disruptive.
he's up there.
He's up there.
Definitely
He's
up there. And a fan
up there.
favorite, just like Edgar.
Edgar, by the way, Edgar, the fucking man.
Facu tonight, 8 assists. It was just the last game out. He had 10, right? So that's 18 assists in his last two outings. 4 rebounds tonight for Facu. Having said all of that, he's also a guy he's not a box score guy. And this is
Intangibles.
And you could see hints of this going back to training camp, that abbreviated training camp. Jamal Murray was one of the first, I think, to sort of imply this, but guys feed off of his energy and not like in a game against Chicago on Friday night, in a practice in training camp, he's going to play like it's the finals every time. And that is going to matter. That rubs off on guys. So tonight, I thought even before that steal, there was a contagious effort and energy. Like, oh, no one's playing hard tonight.
He's getting the ball in his hands. He's moving without the ball. And that's at a time that Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic had it going, and they still gave the ball to their point guard and trusted for him to make the right plays.
Hold up. Guy, sums up with the audio.
Nobody can hear us?
Oh, I'm moving super fast.
No, it like switched.
What's going on?
I don't know. And I can't get to the computer right now. Everything's locked.
Hey,
frozen.
Ali, he needs some help here if you're around.
No, it's her computer's frozen. I can't do anything.
Vibes es immaculate.
It might still be live, so keep going.
It is live.
Yep, so
Can
keep
they hear
talking.
us?
It's just frozen on.
No, but the microphones, they
their
can't
audio
hear
is
them, I don't
soft.
think.
The chat's saying it's Edgar.
It's not my fault.
That's good fall.
No, it's just...
Yeah, Edgar, for the last time, quit unplugging
Stop.
the audio here. I like the scapegoat.
Kale pump faked out that wide open 3 to win the game.
So, we have-
scurried his feet to the corner and drained.
We got
Steady, which is Monster, and disruptive.
right. Oh, that's a great point.
Tonight we needed disruptive because we were in dire straits.
Yeah.
Like we were
Yeah.
down by
Down
4.
12. Going into
With what, like 24 seconds left, something like that, like an unbelievable amount. And I mean that literally, I mean, without hyperbole, that steal was the difference in the game.
Yeah, it absolutely was. Will Barton also hit a shot. So if you go through the game log of this game, and you just look at every bucket that happened. This is what it looked like. Murray field goal, Jokic field goal, Murray field goal, Jokic field goal, Murray, Jokic, just like that all the way down. There was one bucket that was Barton, and it was a big one. It was another one of those ones that, you come into overtime, they get that hot start going. You needed that contribution. So shouts to him, 16 points. He doesn't get 20 points. I think it's the first time in a while, but it is nice that at least he continues to contribute.
And it's also like 16, 6, and 3. I mean, it's just whether it's from 2 or from 3 or whatever, he's getting closer and closer to that 15, kind of 5 and 4, which that's been his benchmark when healthy over the last 3 years. And even tonight, despite a down night from deep, that's still what he gave you ultimately. So this guy's trending up still.
Yeah. I have no idea if we're live or not. So we're just going to keep rolling. We are live. Okay.
Okay. This is incredible. This is incredible. I love it.
Zeke Naji got some minutes tonight. Zeke Naji got only 11 minutes tonight, but guess what? He went 3 of 3 from the field tonight, including 2 of 2 from 3. And I don't have a ton of Zeke Naji notes tonight, other than it's nice that he got trusted again.
Yep.
They didn't have to trust him. They could have gone to other guys, or just not gone to him. They trust him. He knocks down some shots, and you get some more of those good vibes.
I think that actually Zeke, I'm not going to say saved the game, but he kept the Nuggets around earlier in the game and gave them minutes, because that was minutes when the starters were on the bench, and it looked like the game was going away from them. Zeke Naji comes in, he hits some big shots into his assignments, and he could step out on a guard and guard them for a few seconds and just buy some time for other people to adjust. So Zeke Naji had a pretty good game with the minutes that were given to him, especially when you look backup center type of guy.
Yeah, right.
So that was good for him.
Dev, I was thinking this is probably going to be the highest grade I give Zeke in a while. 3 for 3. It's nothing spectacular, but absolutely shot ready on all 3 of those field goal attempts. And then again, I thought he was very good defensively. So, and then the other thing too is he only plays 11 minutes, and in those 11 minutes, he tries virtually nothing that his teammates and coaching staff don't want him to try. So I thought it was a B-B game from Naji in a contained role.
He's a basketball robot, man. He really is. He plays the game just so robotic, and I don't mean this. I mean this in a good way, and just he's not programmed to make mistakes.
Yeah,
or to go outside the lines.
Well, Zeke Island is not so different from the island of Dr. Moreau, which we brought up earlier, where he's been scientifically created with the perfect jump shot and absolute sound fundamentals, and he just comes out. He plays like he's been in the league for 15 years. He's just unflappable. He's just he is a basketball. I don't know. He's just a perfect specimen.
I'm uncomfortable with the island of Dr. Moreau as
Why?
a reference. I remember it was at Val Kilmer was in that movie.
I mean, it wasn't a good movie, but it's also a
Val
book.
Kilmer. Who else is in it?
But it's not the movie. It's a
Anthony
book.
Hopkins.
Maybe.
I think it's Anthony Hopkins and Val Kilmer. Really bad movie, man. Very disturbing.
Well, but it's a literary
Byron's back.
reference.
He really likes
Byron
the island
is back.
He loves the
Byron.
island of Dr. Moreau.
Dude,
he's a big fan.
Byron blessing us. We love you, Byron. Thank you. And listen, we've gotten a lot of super chats tonight.
I can't pull up super chats right now, so just apologize.
We can't pull up super chats,
I'm going
I'll
to
tell you, Byron's back, and they could actually see the super chats.
so they can see him.
I can bring them up.
The vibes are just so freaking amazing.
Daniel Yost, greetings from Boston. Love all you guys. Go Nugs. That Daniel Yost is a longtime fan. Back from the Stifts days. He
we know Yost.
Absolutely.
We know Yost.
Byron hit us again. Let's see.
It's Marlon Brando. See, I thought it might have been Marlon Brando. That's right.
Eric Sandy.
Which makes it even worse because I like Marlon Brando, but the movie was terrible.
Eric Sandy
Really
wants to
horrible.
talk about the Barton Tech.
The Barton Tech. Oh yeah, that was true. That was true. The Barton Tech. So what happened? He was in a kerfuffle, and was it Saturansky, I think? And
yes,
there's a little bit of back and forth, and then it was the classic big brother little brother thing where the little brother, in this case Saturansky, gives the little shove, and then Barton gets up in his face and does this, and the ref sees that one, and so he gets the tech. But I mean, you got to keep a level head there.
I also thought it went a couple possessions back. Barton was feeling like he was getting fouled and wasn't getting the call. You can't do that. That's a fair criticism, but it's all good. It's all water under the ice fridge.
No, it's ice under the fridge.
Yeah.
Dude, somebody sent me a video of them the other day kicking the ice under the fridge, and I was like, hell yeah, that's what you do. It's the ice.
So Francisco Lanús Bull says Facu at point guard with the ball leaves Murray free for scoring.
So true. I mean, we've talked about this a lot, and he's a combo guard. He's definitely a combo guard, but it is something.
Oh, that's right. It was not Saturansky. It was well, how do I say his name?
Yeah, he has the crazy.
wait.
Archie. I can never say his name.
Archie Diacono.
Yeah, that's the
Diacono,
one.
yeah.
Yeah. Villanova boy with the hair.
Dude, we are so off our game. We are really having a. But the fourth quarter comes around, we're going to be right there, guys. Paul Millsap tonight, a -13. Again, starter. I'm curious, Dev. I mean, we don't know the timetable. And look, they made it work last game, so this is by no means in every single game it's struggling. But I do still think, just even with last game, it's still pretty clear that the team is best when they go small. Do you think this is a matter of, look, he only played 18 minutes tonight. Do you think this is a matter of you just stick with this, but you go to your smaller lineups a lot? Or do you think that leads to games like tonight where you're always playing out of rhythm until the end?
Well, against a team like the Bulls, they don't really have the size. Like their biggest guys,
Right.
like Wendell Carter Jr., and then Thaddeus Young, who are both undersized for even their positions. Like,
Yeah, but Thad Young's like strong, man.
yeah, like the super strong and Millsap's super strong, but like that's not a game that you need your bigs. But you also don't want Millsap to just be just like not in game shape when you do need him down the road. So I think that this is a game that you just give him minutes and see what he does. But this is not a Millsap game. This is not a game that you needed him to play big minutes. But when you go against those matchups that do have two centers or two bigger guys, then you're going to need Millsap. So having them ready for those type of games are going to do well. Now saying that, Millsap did not have a good game, like by any stretch of the imagination. Like he did not play well tonight. But he still was like a part of the rotation and still trying to like just do things out there and be the defensive anchor for the team. So
Totally.
Malone did say he was going to go back, right, to this Porter at 4 when Monte's healthy. And so I think the natural question is it worth it to just do that anyway with Facu now? And to me, then I wonder, like, does Malone know yet what he'd like to try in the playoffs? Because if it's going to be MPJ
That'd be a really interesting question.
If it's going to be MPJ at the 3, they got to use this runway now to try to figure that out, right? So, maybe you can just close with Facu, but I do feel confident that Facu in that Monte slot, whether it's starting or closing, that can work absolutely.
Yeah. And when Monte's back, even if it's Monte starting, I still feel like that Monte, great player in his own right, a little different from Facu, but the numbers also bear it out when he's there. It does, again, allow Jamal Murray to free up and focus more on what he's best at.
Don't you feel like this game was basically a microcosm of the Nuggets themselves, where like early on, and when we were all sort of resigned to the idea that the Nuggets might actually lose this game, we were like, it doesn't matter. Like we know that they have a switch; they can turn it on when it matters, and we're at the point.
It mattered to our little Friday we have.
Well, it would have mattered to but I'm saying like it matters only in that, yes, we want the vibes, we want to feel good, we want to get positioned for the playoffs, but we know that this team has a switch. We saw that this team has a switch. It happened last year, and we saw the absolute representation of that tonight. Like things get rough, and all of a sudden Nikola Jokic snaps in, Jamal Murray sort of snaps in. They're playing, sort of loose. Jokic is sort of playing begrudgingly early on, and then, but when it matters, these two guys show up, and we see this over and over and over and over. And at a certain point, it's like.
Like all of a sudden they're zoned in. Like this is incredible.
We registered for a class. We haven't been all semester. We got the syllabus.
And that's exactly.
I have another thing to run by you, though. The trade deadline's a week away.
Yup.
And, just did the podcast with George Carl. I always plug that when I'm on here. You guys should definitely check it out. He has interesting things to say.
George
You might
Carl's,
always agree.
I love listening to George Carl.
Go Hills. Yeah, he's got some interesting things to say. But, one thing he talked about was just that, it can throw the vibe of the team off. I don't think he said vibes. It would be pretty great, though, if George Carl does use the word vibes.
I don't think our influence
I don't
is there
know.
yet.
I don't know if it's there yet. But he does talk about just the locker room, in fact, he uses the phrase always. He says there could be like a cloud hanging over, and then once it passes, it's like there's a relief. And I just wonder tonight, you see Walt Barton go 1 for 8. You see some of the guys struggle. I wonder if there is a little bit of that. Let's just get this trade deadline over. I mean, we don't know if Will Barton's going to be on the team in a week. And that's weird to say because he's been on the team for 6 years.
It's very weird to say.
Does it feel like a little bit of and I'll ask you this one, Dev, doesn't it feel like a little bit of like an unspoken thing that's going on that major pieces to this team might not be there? I'm not saying they for sure are going, but it is a possibility, and that's got to be weird to go out and play an emotional game like this.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like kind of like like you're just out there just trying to showcase yourself in that type of regard. Like you're on a winning team, you're playing well, you're going out and shooting. Because, you could see it in Will Barton's, demeanor. He's out there, trying to, make things happen and showcase himself. He's been playing really well as of late, which I think is good for himself and also the Nuggets because it's like if you are looking for a guy, we have a guy for you. I'm not saying that they're actually out there like actively shipping him out or trying to like put him out there, but we know that the Nuggets need another defensive like option or another wing, and he's a player that they could have as like a sweetener into any other deal that they have. But like you said, yeah, like you could see it without it actually being said or anything that's happening. So I mean, you could read the room.
Yeah,
it is crazy. I mean, it is funny that now. You really feel like, man, should we make a trade? Like the Nuggets are like really.
This is
really
always
vibing.
the greatest thing
They
ever.
do
Is
this-
like you have a player that you think needs traded, and you're like, man, I hope he plays well enough to up his trade value.
And he plays well
you're-
enough. We can't trade
Oh
him.
man, this guy fits perfect. Exactly what we need.
It is. I mean, I don't know. Like, what do you like? What is your guys' feelings on that at the moment? I don't know. I literally don't know how I feel.
The
about
San Antonio Spurs never make trades in season like this, and and one of the reasons is because they are very much a system team, right? They're very much a. It's not about the star; it's about the five guys coming together, and that process is hard. This is what I love about basketball, and what I hate about the current state of the NBA is it's not at all about this. It's just assemble the talent so that your flaws don't matter. And that's part of team building. But the idea of a team like this that is better and more cohesive at this moment than they were 2 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, whatever, that's what's so cool about it. And if you do send some guys out, small bit parts as they might be, it's still, you have to like build chemistry with the new guys that come
Yes.
in. And that
it's
process
it's
is
the
never
worst
like that.
season of all time.
That's
to try
so
to do
true.
that. It's
Yeah.
the shortest runway. So
And there's just like not a lot of social gathering going on. So you have a new player. I mean, think about this. Eric just got traded in from Orlando.
Oh man.
You've
I
got
loved
new
Orlando.
teammates. You don't know all their names. You know most, kind of. Don't know how to pronounce it. You don't know where is Jokic from Russia. You don't know any of this stuff. But guess what? This is how you get to meet them. You don't. You just have to go back to a
just
hotel
shove.
that you're renting for the rest of the year, talk to no one because you don't know anybody in this town, and just kind of sit there. And it's
You're
like
like in the Denver bubble. Yeah.
you're in a little Denver bubble. And I mean, every now and then you get to hang out with a teammate and like maybe hop on a Zoom. But it's just so I do think there's something to that. That being said.
I have to say, like, I am the most of this group. I think I have the most Homer tendencies. I think that's
Oh, you think
probably.
so?
Well, shut up, vote. I mean, you're not even from here. Come on. But the idea that when I listened to goddamn George Karl talk about how good of a defender Aaron Gordon was, like, I was like, man, does he actually fill the void that Gary left and Will left?
Ooh.
By giving us an offensive weapon, but also being defensive enough that he can, help us when we match up with the likes of LeBron.
The real
the
trick
likes
here,
of-
here's the thing about a guy player like Gary Harris is he's elite against really good guards. I mean, you talk about Donovan Mitchell. That's not like, who's good at defense? Monte could step in and play good. Like, Monte's good. But Gary can be elite in that level. And I think that's the thing that none of these guys have to date have proven. I think, maybe PJ Dozier can be that, but he's never proven it.
flip side of that is Gary was the reason they won the first round and then unplayable in the conference finals because he didn't have a matchup. So there are versatility issues, whereas Gordon is like, he is that 3.5, right? If that's the slot
maybe.
you're trying to fill. It's tough because I
Yo.
think this team has enough aggregate talent and they have
Eric in the chat from downstairs.
Gave $100.
Eric, you're a homie. Although you should have
wow.
you're actually at the bar here. You
Yeah, why
should
don't you
just
just
buy
send
it.
us $100?
Why don't you just give us $100?
We could have went and got.
You want to go buy Eric a beer? All right, go see it, Eric. All right, let's see it,
And
Edgar.
Edgar is going to do that.
What does what look like? The beer?
Just walk around
Oh,
and ask.
Eric! Oh, I thought you were talking about you're going to buy Eric a he's got dark hair. Eric, Edgar's coming down.
Eric just
grab
has to
him.
keep his hand up the entire time until the guy taps you.
One thing that was not great tonight, the defense, and some of this was. So you thought I was going to say something else. The defense, and some of this was just they shot the leather off the ball. 17 of 35 from three. That's almost 50%. You had Kobe White going off for just an incredible game, especially down the stretch. But that being said, Denver just didn't have it tonight defensively. Like, Chicago Bulls are good, but man, are they 127 good?
I mean, yeah, but also, dude, like,
Tell me,
sometimes
dude.
bad teams hit shots. And like,
Oh, totally.
Denver's defense was not good tonight.
Not good.
But Chicago also just hit everything. I mean, and sometimes that happens.
Like a little way to be able to rate Denver's defense today was when they absolutely needed to have a stop and Kobe White got the ball with no one around him and just ran straight down to the basket. There was a mix-up between Murray and Barton. Nobody covered him. Jokic had to run down and try to stop the ball. Fouled Kobe White. Like, mercifully didn't get the foul called.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, that shows you. Like, that was, at that moment in time, was the moment of the game. It was a complete collapse.
I truly can't believe that the Nuggets won that game just going off of, like, the shots that were made. I really don't remember the Bulls missing many shots.
And didn't they hit like 9 separate daggers, it felt like?
Every single shot felt like a dagger. Like, Otto Porter was hitting shot after shot. Like, Kobe White's hitting shots. Like, everything seemed to be going their way. But that goes to show you, like, what type of offense they had tonight, because I don't remember them hitting every single shot to respond back to that, but they had to, and then come up with a few, like, key stops at the same time. Like, Bulls were making everything.
They were 52% from the field tonight and 50% from deep. The Bulls were on 34 attempts from 3. So
That's so wild, man.
yeah, they shot the lights out.
They were on fire. But Denver gets the win. And again, you don't always get to win pretty. You don't always get to win wire to wire. Sometimes you have to win in the most disgusting, filthiest, grossest way possible.
We call that a Weedham win.
A Weedham win, and that's what they got tonight.
Gross and disgusting.
Allie, is Harrison coming on? We can't have Harrison on? It'll shut everything down.
Let me go to his Twitter page, guys.
So are you going to read? Oh, can you do it in Harrison's voice?
No.
Yes, you have to. This is now a new thing.
Been looking forward to this for a long time.
Harrison, are people talking in the chat tonight?
People are talking. People are talking.
All righty. Here we go. Michael Malone post game.
All right, in Harrison's voice, you have to do it at least once.
I literally don't.
You have to do it.
I don't know how.
I'll do it.
All
All right, Eric. You.
Well, I don't have it. I don't have the tweet up.
Michael Malone post game.
That's good.
A lot of people are talking.
He said, I don't know how many other two-man combos are as lethal in clutch situations as Jamal and Nikola are. That's right, Michael. That's the theme of the show. He must have been watching while he was doing his presser. More from Malone, quote, in my opinion, Nikola is the MVP of this season.
Oh, I love this. You got to combat the Lakers last night doing their thing.
Disgusting.
How many other guys in this league impact the game on so many levels every single night? There's not anybody better than him in clutch situations. Here's a fun one. Michael Porter Jr. on the mood in the locker room.
Ooh, I like it. Do it in Michael Porter's voice.
You have to go. You go.
We were litty. We were litty. That's the quote.
He didn't even have a shirt on.
We
were litty.
We were litty.
He said that?
He did. Unless Harrison Wind is suddenly into fake quotations, which doesn't seem like his
I love the
thing.
idea that Harrison decided that he was like, Michael Porter Jr. was like, the vibes are really good. He's like, it was litty.
Liddy. More from MPJ. This one on Facundo Campazzo. Without that steal, we don't win the game. Facu, like I say all the time, he can shoot one time and have 2 points, but his impact on the game is incredible. Quote, he's a winner, end quote.
I actually do think that. I do think that Campazzo's a winner, man.
He literally is one.
But there are players that you're like, yeah, that guy's a winner. He does the winning stuff. He makes winning plays. Argentina, how much do you guys love that the Nuggets love Campazzo? You know, the players. They really seem like they really are in on. He's got like he would win prom king of the Nuggets. You know?
More Jokic loving Denver vibes, which I know you at home can't get enough of. Jokic on Malone endorsing him for MVP. Quote, it's nice. The guys are trusting me. The coaches are trusting me. The front office is trusting me. The Kroenke family is trusting me.
So litty.
It's really nice to have such a big group of people behind you trusting you. It's cool.
I wish I knew what
Did
that
not
felt
mention
like.
you, Adam.
Damn it, man! I really was hoping he's like, you know, the DNVR crew's trusting me.
I wish I knew what it felt like to be Jokic and have support.
More from how about Jamal Murray? Jamal Murray on his and Nikola Jokic's two-man game. There's nothing on a game-to-game basis that we haven't seen. We just react. I think we know how to play.
So true, man. That's a great point.
And that it's also like it's always them at the end of the game. At end of games, they've also gone to like a million game sevens already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whether it's regular season or playoffs, I think that probably is true. There's probably not a defense they haven't seen. So he said, we just react. I think we know how to play off of each other better than any duo in the league.
Throw it down. Throw down the gauntlet.
In the league.
You hear that? The best duo in the NBA. We already
Bring
called them the
it.
second best duo, but it's like LeBron and AD. They won the championship. They beat Denver, so you kind of have to whatever. But you know what? F it. AD's out.
Yeah.
He's
He'll
out.
take it.
He'll
Sure.
take it, baby.
Screw it.
Nuggets chemistry.
If
You
Yeah.
do that to the Bulls, Lakers.
Like if your elite two-man squad contains one guy who's hurt for half of every season.
Yeah, we're
Is
going to
that the
slander
best?
the hurt guy.
Yeah, they got it done last year. I don't like to relive it, but they did.
What else we got? Any more quotes
That's
here?
all I have so far, fellas.
Do we even need Harrison? We
What-
could save a
society
lot
is-
of money, guys. We could save a lot of
Society
money.
has moved past Harrison.
I need Harrison.
I actually knew Harrison is too litty to
Do
leave
you
out
ever
of this
just
crew.
rip off a take and then slowly you find your eyes slipping to Harrison just to see if he approves or not?
Every time. Every time. I feel like the class clown when Harrison's around.
Yeah.
I don't care what Harrison thinks of anything at all. All right, go ahead.
To wrap things up, guys, I mean, thanks everybody that's hung around in the chat. And actually, there's a lot of you guys here tonight. 300 likes, 921
Do we have?
people
Hold on.
viewing.
Do we have the
what?
the
King
likes?
of the game?
Yep, there he goes.
Is it the king of the game?
Well, I can't do anything on the computer right now, but the king of the game was the 2-man.
King of the game was the two-man
The
game.
two-man game is the king.
So
It's
we've got a couple of
a dual rulership.
we've got a couple super chats to get to. Let's see
Okay,
here. So
you have them.
well, I mean that's so. Eric Weiss says, "Do it." He gave $100, so I felt like I had to say it.
Well, I guess we gotta.
And then and then Edgar was on his way down to buy him a drink. Francisco Lanús Bull again says, worried about rivals making plays to MPJ and getting easy baskets. Great scorer, great rebounder, but struggling with screens.
Yeah, it's very true.
Cheers from
I
Argentina.
think that's among his weakest points on defense is he just, for whatever reason, can't get
I
around
think
screen.
multiple Nuggets are bad at that, actually. They get swallowed up by screens.
But he has the combination of, like, he's not